Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting episode of my vlog. I'm your host Orange Zeppelin. Catullus is here, but he's in the window and I can't move the camera to view him, so you'll just have to pretend you see a very beautiful cat off to the side. He's hanging out in the window, he's looking outside. It's a very pretty day actually. It's been a little dreary and ugly for a while, and then all of a sudden it got very nice and warm, which is nice because my runs are less uncomfortable when they're not so freezing cold as they've been. And then riding to work, actually riding to work still has kind of sucked because it's still very windy. I either ride my bike or my skateboard depending on the day. Sometimes the wind is on my side and I get some wind at my back that actually propels me to work faster, so that's nice. But when the wind's coming at you and you're on the bike and that, it's just a bad time all around. But the weather has been nicer, which I'm very thankful for. So what am I talking about other than the weather? Well, it is March now. March has officially come upon us. In February, for some reason I thought I didn't get that much done until I actually wrote down, what did I finish? What were the extra things I did? Is there anything I didn't get around to? What are my plans for next month? I got a lot done in February. January was a very productive month. This was also a very productive month, even with all the other things I do, which aside from art, my art job stuff, I have my actual regular, normal, productive human being job, even though I don't work very many hours. It's more of like it's not exactly part-time, it's like quarter-time. I'm doing a good job at that job. I think that I am appreciated. There went Catullus. I feel like people do appreciate my work there, so I'm happy, and I like that job. So that's something that takes up my time, and then I work out a lot, and then I started playing Skyrim again, so that's taken up more time than it necessarily needs to, but I've been being good. I've trimmed down how long I've been playing Skyrim, and actually I haven't played it this week yet. I play it on certain days depending on where I can fit it into my schedule. I have not done any Skyrimming this week. It'll definitely happen on Friday as my end of the week. Let's just goof off on Friday. But enough talking about Skyrim and all the other things I'm doing. Let's talk about what I got done in the month of February. And we're going to start by talking about Whoa Awesome Space Babe, which the goal was to get some page inking. And let me actually grab my pages over here. These are the pages I did not get done, which they vastly outnumber the pages I did get done. I did not get a lot inking, but what I'm doing, so I have 7 pages that are fully inked, they're all scanned and they're ready to color, and then up to page 16 I have the panels and the speech bubbles. I'm gonna, or dialogue or text, I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see what is hopefully good hand lettering, because I think it was a good idea to jump into hand lettering, because it's gonna take out one of my least favorite parts of the comic making process, which is when you go in digitally and pray that your lettering doesn't just completely look like a disaster. And because I primarily use GIMP, and I don't like the text tool in GIMP, I think just hand lettering is the better option. I have practiced quite a bit of hand lettering recently. My handwriting looks significantly better, way better than issue 1. I'll pop in a picture of what issue 1 of Whoa Awesome Space Babe looked like with the lettering. I just took another look at it the other day, and just the crust. That's what I've described it as in the past. It's crusty. So hopefully we are not going to have any crusty lettering in this current issue. Hopefully it's going to look very good, very clean, and definitely very professional, because that is the goal. I'm aiming for is a little more of like a professional looking quality. It doesn't look like some random person did it in their parents' house. It'll look like a professional artist did it. That is the goal. But I'm pretty happy with how that's turning out. The reason I'm doing the lettering and the paneling, well, I do the lettering separately than my other inking stuff for the same reason I do the paneling separately, and I feel like I need to be in a different headspace. The paneling is just, I need to be in the mindset where I need to be in the mood to be doing a lot of just straight lines and repetitive things. The lettering is the same way. And the idea is that I'm going to get the panel lines and the lettering out of the way first, and then it's easier for me to just grab a page and start doing inking. It's mostly just to facilitate the future inking process. So part of my goal is that in the next few days, I'm going to get all that lettering done, and then I can start doing a proper inking gauntlet, and then I can actually get a little more progress done. So that is the goal. What else did I finish this month? There's actually several projects I completely forgot about until I was writing this down because I got them done very early in the month. There was a commission that I finished. There was a zine entry. Actually, I'm going to pop in the zine entry because I don't remember how far it was in the last episode. I'm just going to pop it in. It was for a Harrison Ford fanzine. I think I hadn't even started it yet at the point of the last vlog. So I'm going to pop that in. That was fun to work on. And then another thing that you guys... Yes, I remember talking about this in the previous episode because this is my beautiful... I was going to say wood burned. It's not wood, it's leather. Leather burned. A soldering iron was involved. If you remember my previous episode, I learned that you should not use a soldering iron indoors in a closed space because it smells really bad, and this was my stinkiest art project to date. So don't use soldering iron inside. I finished it up outside, and it looks very good, and I didn't die doing it. There is a little bit of white paint, like in the eyeball there. But yeah, this is my leather burned monster ball, and I'm gonna bring it into work today. I hadn't brought it into work yet because I wanted to show it off in this vlog episode. So now I can bring that in and it'll be awesome. Okay, what else happened in February? I also got some tiny paintings done. The little gyroid paintings that I was talking about in the previous episode. I don't remember how many, if I had any done at all. I know the goal was to get some amount of the paintings done, and I have 2 more acrylic ones anyway that I want to do, but I have 4 taken care of here. I was just going to do 1 squeakoid painting, and I was trying to do, I think I talked about this in the previous episode, where I was trying to do acrylic pouring, and I did it as wrong as possible, and I had a bunch of extra canvases. Well, I had a lot of extra paint that I decided to put on some mini canvases, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a series of squeakoid paintings, and I kind of regret that decision because honestly I got very sick of painting squeakoid over and over again, and I hope it doesn't look like I was getting sick of doing it, but I was getting sick of doing it, which is why it took me pretty much the whole month to get those 4 done, because I wasn't super motivated to work on that after a while. But my next 2 gyroid paintings are going to be different gyroids, so that's going to be more interesting. And then there's 1 oil painting that is Animal Crossing themed that I'm going to get towards, and they're all super tiny. So now that I've made the gyroids, now that I've made the squeakoids and I don't have to look at them anymore, I think the next ones will be a lot more fun. I do like the new gyroid designs. I mentioned this in the last episode that initially I was like, I like the old ones better because that's what I'm familiar with, and they changed it and now I don't like it. But no, I like the new gyroids. I think they are more interesting, and they're more imaginative designs, and the way they move and interact with music is way more interesting than they were in the first game, definitely. While I do really like the original game gyroids, the new ones are cool. I do like that. So that happened. So that was on my list of things to do. That was what I accomplished that was actually on my list. I also have a big list of things that just randomly happened. My favorite, I'm gonna pop it in right here. My beautiful musician friend, Mavero Duran, he posted a selfie and he looked very beautiful, so I did a portrait of him with Copic markers gouache. I think I used fountain pens, either microns or fountain pens, and then also a white gel pen, and it's beautiful, and it's my favorite thing I've made so far. So that's awesome when I make unexpected masterpieces, and it didn't take me very long to get it done. It was only, I think it was like, I'm going to say it was 3 work sessions. It was either 2 or 3 work sessions, and I did get it done super fast, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I'm very happy with that. Other random things. Hello, Catullus. Hi. Other things that happened. I did draw something every day, even if I was trying to do warm-up sketches every day. Sometimes I didn't quite do a warm-up, but there was some kind of art thing happening every day, and I did keep track of that. And I've managed to maintain that pace since the first of the year, actually. So, heck yeah, I like when I'm practicing and learning more things and keeping up a good schedule. So that's an extra thing that was going on. I also did a art prompt I learned about from an episode of Drawfee where you take, you shuffle your playlist. So this is already a scary prompt because there's weird things in my playlist. So you shuffle your playlist. First song you base a character off of, second song you do the same thing, and then the third song describes those characters' relationship with each other. And I ended up with Fairies Wear Boots by Black Sabbath, Living in the Sunlight by Tiny Tim, there goes a Catullus, and John Barleycorn by Traffic. So that was an adventure, but that actually ended up working really well. So with Fairies Wear Boots, that's already an interesting option because you could either have your character based off of the narrator of the song, which is this dude who's having some drug-induced hallucination involving fairies, or you could even just pick the subject of the hallucination itself, which is what I went with. I went with the fairy for that song, some weird vision this guy's having. And then with Living in the Sunlight, it's normally like a very happy, peppy, upbeat, cheery mood. If you play it right after Fairies Wear Boots, then it gets more of this feeling of, this guy is having like a manic episode. He's up, he's in a good mood, but it's like manically up. This is a person that perhaps is capable of like a very manic low. It's not a super healthy sort of up. Maybe this is somebody who's just snorted a large amount of Prozac and that's what's causing this incredible amount of joy. So I went with some dude who is far too happy. He is in far too good a mood. He's not in any good mental state at the moment. And then with song 3, which is basically about the spirit of the harvest and the constant cycle of life and death and regeneration, but in Celtic theology, with John Barleycorn being the spirit of the harvest, if you wanted to guarantee the resurrection of John Barleycorn when you planted your seeds in hopes of a bountiful harvest, you're not guaranteed to have a good harvest. So it was believed that you might have to offer life in order to guarantee the proper harvest. If you've seen the movie The Wicker Man, the good Wicker Man, the one from the 70s, not the crappy one from 2006. If you've seen the good Wicker Man, you know what I'm talking about. So my idea was maybe that these fairies this guy is having a hallucination of. He's having some kind of schizophrenic episode. The fairies are kind of convincing him to... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, they're... And you guys are going to be looking at the picture. Some kind of violent act has just occurred. And the idea is that the fairies have convinced him to do this. Whatever strange creatures he's seen have convinced him to do this thing. That's kind of what I was thinking with the image, and I am happy with how it turned out. I think I wanted to go with a really strong contrast. In particular, it was Jacob's illustration in the Drawfee episode, and how he did just like a black and white contrast. that's what inspired me in terms of the visuals of my piece. Just strong black and white contrast, and then the red for blood. That's where I was going. So that was fun to work on. That would be fun to do again, actually, because you could do that any number of times and end up with just all sorts of different things happening. Less weird things, more weird things maybe. So what was the last thing on my list? This was also inspired by somebody on YouTube. If you've seen Jordan Persegati, he does a lot of horror art. Particularly, he will take Disney coloring books. It seems like Frozen is the common theme. And he will take Copic marker in hand or watercolor in hand and turn them into horrible nightmare images. And I thought, that's a fun idea. I want to do that. I do have a Pokemon coloring book stashed away somewhere, so I decided I'm going to take, I think it was Mega Charizard Y. I don't really know what's going on in Pokemon anymore. Like, they lost me at the Mega Evolution. So you got Mega Charizard Y. I'm going to pop in what it looked like at the start. And then I did pretty much the same thing where I took Micron pens, Copic marker, and I turned it into a very badass dragon. And that was really fun to work on. I enjoyed that quite a bit. That was interesting, trying to find a way to add lines in a way that it wasn't super obvious they were added in. I wanted the whole thing to look very cohesive, which is what this guy on YouTube manages to do. It doesn't really look like, oh, I just drew over a coloring book page. It looks very cohesive. So that was the goal, and I think I achieved it. I had a lot of fun with that, and that definitely is going to be a thing that happens again. So that was all the things that I definitely accomplished. Actually, no, that's not true. That's not all the things, because I also have that right here, this painting I'm working on. So this is watercolor and gouache, and a little bit of watercolor pencil. I've been just kind of plugging away at him for a while. He needs, I think, at least one more really good art session for him to be finished. He looks very close, but I want some more contrast. I want to do a better job on the armor, and I think the background I want to go in maybe with some oil pastels. I think I'm going to do that. I think he's going to get some oil pastels. But yeah, that's the other thing that was on the list that I got a decently far way into, just that I didn't finish him. The only thing that really didn't get attention was the cover for Whoa Awesome Space Babe 6, and I do have a plan. I know what it's going to look like. I'm not sure how I'm going to color it yet. I don't know if I want to go digital or if I want to do Copic markers, and I'm kind of thinking Copic markers. I think it's just that I digitally color the whole comic, and I want the cover to match the contents of the comic, but you can do different things on the cover visually. You can get more artsy on the cover. And it's my comic. I can do whatever the hell I want, and nobody can tell me otherwise, because I run this shit. It's my ship. I am the captain. I can do whatever the hell I want. So I'll just decide what I want to do, and then it'll happen. So now that we are 18.5 minutes in, I have finally finished talking about what I got done. So I think it's safe to say this was a very productive month. Now, that being said, I really am not sure I can keep up the high production pace without my art starting to just look like dog shit. So the goal for March is actually to slow down the pace. So I'm going to continue on with drawing something every day, doing the warm-up sketches, because I think that's super helpful. It's very, very important before I do my lettering, because I want my hands to be loose before I'm lettering, because otherwise, like I said, it's going to look like dog shit, and I don't want that. So I'm going to keep up with the warm-up drawings every morning, or at some point of the day. Sometimes it's just something I draw at work. I'm going to do the Whoa Awesome Space Babe cover. I'm going to ink it to some arbitrary number of pages. I don't know. I'd like to have it finished, and I think I can, provided that I manage my time well. So it's 27 pages. I'm on 7. I got 20 more pages to do, but I do have part of the inking done on a lot of them. So I think I can pull that off. I'm pretty sure. I want everything scanned and ready to color also. The other thing is we're gonna finish off Zatz, and he's gonna look amazing. I'm gonna do some more Maya and the 3 art in the future that isn't Zatz, but he's just fun to draw, so that's how it is. So Zatz is gonna get finished, and then I'm gonna do the other 2 acrylic gyroid paintings at the very least. Maybe the oil, I don't know. So basically, it's just focus on Wow Awesome Space Babe, that painting, and gyroids. If any other extra projects happen, which they certainly will, because you guys know me, there's going to be a bunch of extra random shit that happens. It's just going to be focusing on these so that I'm not getting burnt out, because I feel like I'm starting to get to that point where I'm risking burnout, because it was just the other night I was feeling so tired. I'm looking at my to-do list, which is more of a list of ideas, and it's like, I need to slow down. I need to make sure that what I'm producing is very good. I'd rather put out just a few really good pieces than a bunch of dog shit. And I think you guys would much rather see just really good pieces instead of something where it's like, well, I just wanted to get it done quickly. No, nobody wants to see that. That's not good art. I want art that's cool. I don't want to make any more boring art. That's my goal. I want to just constantly be striving to be better at what I make, and if that means I need to just slow the fuck down, I'm gonna slow the fuck down. So on that note, let's call the episode good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have to actually work on this week's Gobliterated comic, so that's today's focus. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe and click on the bell button. I don't know what it does, but just do all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next episode.